Remember the day before the lockdown, Norm had some set that went viral. It was a cookie jar dunk. Like it was. I remember like me and my buddies in Ohio were all like, "Yo, did you see this Norm MacDonald set? It was on YouTube, probably still on there." He destroyed. And he even
right. At the Improv,
yeah,
right,
we're
when
all
he
gonna
talked about
die
the pandemic.
It
Yeah.
was a
Incredible.
cookie jar dunk. And you could tell it was off the rip. And it was all that, you know, all the anxiety that the day before the whole world goes into lockdown.
Yeah.
And he was just on some fuck it. And it felt so good. Again, it made me feel like everything's gonna be fine.
I wasn't gonna talk about the coronavirus. But on the way here, I got really ill. But I think it was because I ate a cherry pie. Like, I got a cherry pie from Bristol Farms, and I ate it, and then the car was going weird, and I was like, oh. And then he turned on the radio, Jeremy, and then all the fucking news was like, the guy was like, well, there's been so far 11 cases, 50. 200. I don't feel good. You know, you're like, oh, this is not good. So my plan is just to not die. You know, survive long enough where they find a cure. You know, some people will have to die. But finally they'll find a cure for me. And then I'll thank all. It's funny how Big Pharma is so evil till now. It's like, what's it, $200 a pill? Yeah, that's good, that's fine, I'll take it. Give me all you got. It's funny that we all now know how we're gonna die. It's just a matter of what order at this point. Oh, I can't touch my fucking face. Remember the good old days when washing your hands didn't take 3 hours? Like A, B, C, D. Just take me now. So the mind never wanders too far from, you know, like I'll be talking about all kinds of horse shit up here tonight, but every moment I'll be thinking of this disease. Just to let you know. But it comes at a good time, this, where we're all quarantined, because we know how to live like that, right? We got our fucking magic phones and computers and everything. We don't need no fucking people. It was the last step between us and happiness anyway, were people. Got the TV and shit. Fucking more interesting people than anybody I know. Listen to fucking First Take and spend my last moments on Earth with Max Kellerman.
We hate the most.
But I'm old anyway, you know, so if I die, it won't be as much of a tragedy. I'm 68 years young, I like to say. Yeah. You get old and you start worrying anyway, you know. Forget the coronavirus, like that's possible. But it was a good idea you made. It was a good choice tonight to come out and sit beside total strangers. At least I'm over here. I can run, you know. At least I can flee when I see it.
Hollywood prostitute Divine Brown has written a book describing in lurid detail exactly what she did with Hugh Grant. The book sells for $25, but for $35, she'll show you. At the White House this week, President Clinton officially came out against same-sex marriages. What's more, the president said he is not too crazy about opposite-sex marriages either. A new FBI study shows that for the first time, Americans are more likely to be killed by a stranger than a loved one or acquaintance. Their advice? Introduce yourself to as many people as possible. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released an updated list of unsafe baby products. Topping the list this year is the really, 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 really high chair. Well, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was responsible for another death this week, this time a 58-year-old woman. She is the 26th of Kevorkian's patients to die since 1990. When are people going to realize he is not a good doctor? Do not go to this man. The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes. A new hangover-free vodka is on the market. Yeah, the ads claim that the 80-proof vodka is so pure, it's virtually headache-free. But before you run out and buy it, remember, it causes massive anal bleeding. Julia Roberts told reporters this week that her marriage to Lyle Lovett has been over for some time. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Julia Roberts and that she was married to Lyle Lovett. The results are in for 1995, and once again, Microsoft CEO Bill Gates is the richest man in America. Gates says that he is grateful for his huge financial success, but it still makes him sad when he looks around and sees other people who have any money whatsoever. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, "Hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat." And in music news, #1 on the college charts this summer was Better Than Ezra. And at #2, Ezra. According to a controversial new biography, Elizabeth Taylor likes her lovemaking loud, rough, and frequent. Coincidentally, that's also how she likes to eat. Well, it's official. There you go. Michael Jordan is leaving baseball to return to basketball. It is unclear whether the media will now refer to him by his old basketball nickname, Air Jordan, or his more recent baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. In Walnut Creek, California, anyone who turns in his gun can get free therapy. And anyone who doesn't turn in his gun can get free anything. Well, earlier this week, actor Marlon Brando met with Jewish leaders to apologize for comments he made on Larry King Live. Among them that, quote, Hollywood is run by Jews. The Jewish leaders accepted the actor's apology and announced that Brando is now free to work again. At Virginia Commonwealth University, a professor is being sued following revelations that he spanked one of his students. It was the student's parents who first became suspicious when they asked, "What kind of marks are you getting?" And she replied, "Big red ones on my ass." So... Yippee! Jerry Rubin died last week. Oh, I'm sorry. That should read, Yippee Jerry Rubin died last week. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. My mistake completely. Just, I didn't read it right. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan reports that her husband has been relaxing at their ranch, riding horses and chopping wood. Sadly, eyewitnesses report that he was actually riding wood and chopping horses. It was revealed this week that mass murderer Richard Speck, while serving a life term in prison, was videotaped with hormone-induced breasts, snorting cocaine, and having sex with a man. The film was apparently made with prison video equipment and a $300,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. Dr. James Watts, a neurosurgeon who performed the first frontal lobotomy, died this week in Washington. If you recall, a lobotomy involves drilling holes in the skull and then inserting and rotating a knife to destroy brain cells. What a genius. He'll be missed.
Try and crack your code every day. Thinking about every word that we say.
The world have ordered their ride, the extraterrestrial, to be shut down until it can be made scarier. When the attraction reopens in 2 weeks, it will be exactly the same, but missing 6 bolts. Last week, during his latest trial on charges of assisted suicide, Dr. Jack Kevorkian startled a Michigan courtroom when he stood up and shouted, "This is a lynching." Everyone turned to look, and sure enough, he just lynched some old guy. Gary Kasparov tied Deep Blue, the IBM supercomputer that can examine 200 million positions per second, in the 4th game of their 6-game series. Earlier in the week, Kasparov admitted he made a catastrophic blunder in Game 2 when he failed to force a draw by moving rook to E8. With all due respect to Mr. Kasparov, what the hell were you thinking? A Frenchman who calls himself the Snake Man was arrested this week after climbing up the side of a Manhattan high-rise. Yep, he climbed right up the side of a high-rise, just like a snake. In North Dakota this week, a hunter narrowly escaped death when a pocket knife in his breast pocket deflected a bullet shot by another hunter. Man, you know we have too many weapons in this country when people are getting shot in the knife. And that's it. See you next week, folks.
Norm MacDonald has died. He was 61.
Norm MacDonald was 61.
It is a generational thing. I'm 61 years old, young. I say 61 years.
Right.
I say 61 years experience. I have more than that.
My legs, my
goddamn
arms
jowls.
are thin. My arms are thin. I used to have jowls. I don't have jowls.
I have more chins than
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I say I'll be 50 in October.
Oh my God, 50. That was a turning point age. I didn't like 50.
Why? What happened then?
I just didn't like turning 50.
I thought we were going to be doing a bit where you're like a
Jerry Lewis?
Jiminy Glick character.
Yeah, no, I'm fat.
What happened?
Fried chicken and gravy. Let me tell you something.
Because, well, your metabolism slows down at our age.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 49 years old.
I'm 47.
Damn near 50.
For me, too. I always say I'm pushing 50.
Yeah, that's a scary age.
but-
Because you're a young man.
I'm 62.
What? Really?
62.
Look how lucky you get. Look good.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better than me, and I'm 68. I'm 68 years young, I like to say. And I'm a more mature man than you are, I believe. I don't know.
Might be have a few years on me. I don't know.
No. I'm younger than you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm mature through a series of failures.
Oh.
Call me to say goodnight. Kiss me once or twice. I'll never let go of you.
obvious reasons, we lost Norm MacDonald this week, which was just, I had no idea that he was even sick. And he's a guy that I knew a little bit. I was definitely friendly with him. If we saw each other, we said hello and we shot the shit, but it wasn't like someone that I talked to on the phone or anything. And I was such a huge fan of his, and I would just always end up running into him. And he just always had that smile on his face. Like, as you talk to him, he would have that smile. Just a really great, warm guy. And I remember, I was trying to think what Norm's story to tell you. This one isn't necessarily funny. It was just sort of random. I went out to go see Bill Cosby in concert right before all the bullshit happened out in Pasadena. And he played this theater out there, which interestingly enough was where they had the 25th anniversary of Motown celebration, which is the first place Michael Jackson publicly did the moonwalk. I saw Bill Cosby at that theater. And I remember they had it all set up where, like, they almost built him like a little living room. He had like an Archie Bunker type chair, a little square rug, and then like a side table where he put his water. And he just came walking out, and there was the mic. There was no mic stand. It was just sitting on the chair. And he just came out. You know how he kind of walked a little bent over? Came walking out, waved to everybody, sat down, picked up the mic, and for like almost 2 hours, just, hour and a half, just killed. Just fucking killed. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Masterclass of stand-up, right? So I leave with my lovely wife, and I go out front, and who's standing there is Norm MacDonald. He was like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? And I talked. It was like, no, what's going on? I was so psyched that he knew my name and all of that stuff, and I think I had met him before. And then we just stood there talking about comedy and how amazing it was to see Bill Cosby and how good he still was. Like I said, this was before all the bullshit happened. And my admiration for the guys, it went even higher. That, I understood why I was there, but I thought Norm was so good that he didn't need to be there. And he was still there, still trying to learn and everything. And I was thinking, like, wow, this is why this guy is so fucking amazing. And, he's just was somebody that you couldn't just watch one video of him. Like, I was saying to Verzi how, like, guys like Ric Flair, Norm MacDonald, there's a few people, if you click on their videos, it's like, say goodbye to the next 2 hours of your life, because everything that they did is so interesting and so different and so funny. And one of my favorite Norm MacDonald things that he ever did, because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck, both in my business and in other businesses. You got I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me, I don't give a fuck. Those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels. The internet hadn't blown up yet. And even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have. And you were part of this lineage of, at that point it was, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it. And, did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you're shaking in your, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and somebody, I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something, and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, you know, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him and he was fucking hilarious, but he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lauren has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said it wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. And then he had that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he started laughing. And then he proceeded to do a bunch of OJ jokes.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later.
And it was just like that fucking thing about him. And the whole time, I just felt the whole time when people were fucking with him or whatever and trying to take what he had, he always just still had that smile on his face, and he just still did exactly what he wanted to do. And I got so much respect for him. And I feel so fortunate that I got to see him live. So I remember, oh my God, I saw him right after 9/11. The Aspen after 9/11. Aspen Comedy Festival was this big fucking festival that was always a nightmare to get in and out of. Every year it would snow and people would get stuck in Denver, or you get snowed in, you couldn't get out. It was a fucking nightmare. And then as a comedian, you had to perform. It was like a mile higher than fucking Denver. And no one could breathe, and you're performing in front of all these super fucking rich people in front of industry, and you just go up and you would eat your fucking balls, and you're like, why did I come out here? And I remember I saw Joe Rogan do a full set that I still remember, and then I saw Norm MacDonald. It was at the same theater, and I remember Norm came out, and he was doing bits on racial profiling and all of this stuff. I'm not going to butcher the guy's bits, but I remember just watching that full set, and I was like, this guy is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life. And I thought that every time I saw him. And I don't know. It was a pleasure to know the guy, even on a little level. Just a massive, massive, massive loss to not have him around. And especially now with all of this stupid fucking cancel culture horseshit that is going on, which has way, way, way overstepped its bounds, as it always happens. No matter who's behind it, it always ends up, starting off with something that makes sense, and then that becomes the overreach, and then it just becomes like, hey, is it me, or did you literally become what the fuck you were trying to stop? And we, I don't know, as a comedian, really needed a guy like Norm out there to be eviscerating it and making fun of it and still doing what the fuck you want to do. So if there's any other young comics out there, if you want to see how it's done, watch that guy, because he was the real deal. All right? So Once again, rest in peace to the great Norm MacDonald. Just truly, without a doubt, one of the greatest stand-up comedians I ever saw in my life. And just such a great guy. And it's just so sad that he won't be around anymore. But I actually got off the plane in a better mood from just watching literally the beauty of who he was and his work. When I got off the plane, I was actually like, I don't know, there's something about him. I just thought he understood life. Just a really warm guy. God damn it. It's always those guys that go. So there's your lesson. Don't be nice. You'll live forever. All right.
Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. As his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right.
I have to know one thing before you go tonight. I know there are other questions, but you say that you there were distinguishing characteristics on the president's private parts. For America, please tell us what that is. Well, we've got to know.
Well, it was like that.
Oh, God.
It was.
Return. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Well,
He had the, I think, best word choice of maybe any comedian I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He intentionally mispronounces words.
Because the biggest show right now in the planet is Kate and Ashley plus what? John and Kate.
Spit all over me. That's all right.
John and Kate plus 8.
You did it. You did it. Yeah.
When he knows how to say TV. He says it's the TV.
What are you doing now?
I just saw on the TV my hair.
Okay. All right.
He came on our show, I think it was his first appearance, and he was talking about a Doberman, and he said it's a Doberman.
And he knows.
When I was a kid, the toughest dog was a Doberman dog. You ever see them? They're a tough. Oh, man, they'll rip your throat out, them dogs. Just like a pit.
But he's constantly screwing with you on every level.
Right.
But his word choice is, he was like Mark Twain. He had this folksy, completely out of time. And I don't know if he was born 300 years too late or 300 years too early, but he's talking in a way, no one speaks like that. And you really appreciate the way he says things. And
He
his
talks
timing.
like a 1930s Canadian dock worker.
Yeah.
But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, you know, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. You know, this is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because when the way I experienced him, as you did, Dave, was, you know, really on the talk show format. And later on, when I would look at the clips of him on my show, that I would think, I don't even know that I needed to. I was there just laughing, but I was in no way he's totally self-fueled. Yes, it's nice when you hear the audience there, but he's also, when I look at his appearances that he did with me, I think, I didn't need to be there. Right. I mean, I'm glad I was there. I'm selfishly glad I was there. But he's talking a lot about, he's talking a lot about mortality. He's talking a lot about death. And obviously now that people, comics talk about that all the time. His face, his eyes, and his eyebrows. I said there's something almost like a jack-o'-lantern. He's got such a great, his expressions when he's talking about after someone's completed the act, when he becomes, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go down and have a cheese sandwich. He's such a terrific performer. I mean, he's really just got this.
I got a wife.
You got a wife?
I just got married because I thought go through that charade, keep appearances up.
Oh, yeah. That's the kind of thing you tell if this were a memoir.
And he's telling the whole story like a great 1920s silent film comic. He also had an infinite collection of old stories, I think probably from, rural Canada or traveling salesman stories. And I would be delighted because, he'd come out and I'd be laughing. It was the only person I could say this about. I'd be laughing before he did anything. He'd come out from behind the curtain and he's got those cheeks and those eyes. And I looked at the tape, I'm just laughing. He hasn't done anything yet.
No, I'm from a little town. It's called Monkland, and it's only 108 people.
108? That's small.
It's country, it's really rural. And but man, I'll tell you, there's lots of funny stories from there.
Well, I'm sorry we don't have time. Thank you very much for coming, Norm. It was good having you here. It was Norm MacDonald. Good night, everybody.
Because farm people,
there are funny stories from this town.
Yeah, because farm people, they all seem to be, there always seems to be a funny story. I remember one time.
There better be, Norm.
And then Norm, how are you? And he's like, about a farm. Yeah. And I know immediately this is complete bullshit. And I'd say, well, the whole thing is a complete waste of everyone's time, and it's joyous.
Right.
Because
he's reveling in it.
He's reveling in every second of it. My experience was so chaotic. I thought this guy is Evel Knievel. He's going to jump Snake River Canyon. He doesn't care. But he put a ton of work into what he was doing and worked it out a lot of the time. So I don't know what that process was, but I mean, this really impressed me with how self-contained it is.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got it together.
All I've ever heard about Norm is that I think he was the most widely read comedian. Very widely read, highly intelligent. I think a great, great mathematician. I mean, things that you would never think. He was talented in all these areas. And choosing, what's my diction? What's my word going to be? What's the right word here? And what's it exactly going to be? So you get this, because he seems reckless, but he's also ruthlessly planned everything out and thought it through. Yeah. And they don't seem to go together, but with him, they do.
Yeah.
It was a private, I don't think, there may have been cameras there, but I don't think it's going to be repeated or anything, but it was part of the Netflix Comedy Festival. And they asked me to host this thing for Norm MacDonald, and a bunch of people spoke.
And I'd like to start by telling you the very last words that Norm MacDonald spoke on this earth. He said, "When I go, they damn sure they have a memorial for me. See to it that it's part of a much larger festival promoting a streaming service. Make sure you arrange it hastily and have it early in the morning. Now, damn it, make certain that many of the tributes are on videotape and that Rob Schneider is featured prominently. And finally, hold it in a theater in some part of Hollywood frequented by male prostitutes." Norm, we heard you, and we are here.
And everyone was saying really great stuff, and a lot of people were funny. But man, Kevin Nealon had the greatest line, because a lot of us were talking about how brave Norm was, and he really was. He was fearless as a comedian.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Nealon gets up and he says, he's saying very funny things, and he just says, a lot of people up here are talking about how Norm Macdonald was brave in his comedy. I think of it more as a lack of judgment. I was just like, oh my God.
Hey, the great Kevin Nealon was on the show. Who's funnier than Kevin?
I can't think of anyone. Well, Nick Swardson.
Well, I don't know.
I love Kevin. No, Kevin's
Kevin's
the best.
been around forever.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's
I
kind of
love
a hero
Kevin.
of Nick.
Norm had that gear of not caring or wanting, like he would walk rooms. I know Larry Bubbles Brown, a friend of mine from up north. Norm worked a bit, and he could clear the room. San Jose Improv, like at least 300 people slowly walked out. So it's bravery or whatever. I worked with him at the Comedy Store once. It was just one of those nights. Bill Burr was there. It was just he just said the word cock like 200 times.
Right.
This guy's got a cock, right? And a cock. He just knew how funny it was to say that over and over and over. So, of course, the comedians love that kind of comedian. We're all dying.
Right.
But the audience kind of, where do we go with this? And he just went, there's only one Norm.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love.
I saw you on Conan once, and you did say, you said crack whore and midget several times.
Yeah.
So then I did do a thing, full confession. I did Norm Macdonald as an alarm clock. And it was like, this is what it was. Wake up. Hey, wake up there. There's a crack whore and a midget in your bed. So I just thought that was really funny, right?
What about the other?
And then when I see your stand-up periodically, I go out, well, God rest his soul, Norm. But remember you and I and Norm recently.
Oh,
that was the last time I saw Norm.
That for sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe me too, because he wouldn't during Corona, he didn't say what was going on. So he'd just say, I can meet in a week. And I go, all right, we'll go to this restaurant. Outside? I go, no, I mean, you can come to my house.
There.
But we did this fucking gig, me and Dennis in Oklahoma.
You guys played that big giant casino in Oklahoma?
Yeah, right up an hour south of TriStar.
Yeah.
I think it's
Do we
called
take a
TriStar.
plane or something?
Yeah,
all of us
we
together?
just laughed. So
can you imagine us three idiots?
Oh, yeah, you guys took, Norm, I remember you guys talking about this.
So
gig.
listen, I had a headache, Dennis. So my neck was all fucked up as per usual. So we're driving over there, and Norm goes, do you want anything? And he's clutching like a falcon. He's got like some prescription bottle. I go, oh, I think I'm all right. And he goes, do you want fentanyl? I go, fentanyl? And
That's very Norm.
I go, isn't that the one everyone ODs on? He goes, yeah, but you just dose. You don't overdose. I go, oh, okay. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Was he kidding, or
I don't
was
know.
it real?
That's the.
That you can't tell with
Norm was like Andy Kaufman if he could have written jokes. It wasn't all. Unless I loved Andy, but it was theater pieces. Norm was like that.
Yeah.
But he had such
Weirdo
an
with
agile.
jokes. Yeah.
The first time I heard about Norm was I was doing HBO. No, I had a talk show that was syndicated.
Oh yeah.
And somebody said that there was a new kid from Canada, and they had glimpsed him at the Improv. And I said, well, he said, his name's Norm Macdonald. I think it was Eddie Feldman told me this. And I said, well, tell me, what's he like? And he said, I just remember one joke. Remember you used to do that great joke about, I feel sorry for the homeless guy, but I really feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because the dog's thinking, this is the longest fucking walk. I mean, do we go in anywhere? Because I could do this on my own. I laughed so hard at that joke.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a better person now. You ever try to do that? I give a guy some money out there, a homeless guy in the street, and this is a kind of odd thing. He had a dog with him. You ever see this? He's a homeless guy, but he's got a dog. That kind of odd there. Guy got no home, but he's got a dog. And the dog's really thrilled with this idea, Dog's going, hey, pal, I can do this by myself pretty well here, Like the longest walk in the world you got me on here. What the hell? What the hell kind of a thing? What like that deuce.
That's one of his best
I
ones.
say, well, see if he wants a gig if he's new in town. So they call Norm, and you know how they always say, put together a packet. And this made me laugh. This is the midwife joke that makes me laugh. Eddie says, Norm says he won't do packets. And that word sounds so,
it's so
it
funny.
sounds grim, like you're a taskmaster when you say, I want a packet of jokes. He said, but I'll send one joke and you can make a determination. So he said, remember the joke he did about Dahmer, where he essentially reads the UPI wire copy of the Jeffrey Dahmer trial, and it's so grim. I mean, it could not be grimmer. It's like Hieronymus Bosch sort of, and he disemboweled the young boy and ate the entrails, you know, all that stuff. And it gets to the end of the joke, and Norm says, in his defense, Dahmer said he started it. It's
So,
such a Norm.
hire him on the spot.
Hired him on the spot.
Yeah.
Serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was attacked and killed by another inmate this week. Just before the fight, Dahmer threatened, "Hey, don't mess with me, pal. I used to eat guys like you for breakfast."
Well, I can tell a joke.
Go for it. Yeah, please do. Please. Yeah.
There was a little boy in school named Dirty Johnny. Now, he's not dirty in this joke, but he'd always said, be a hellion in class, and the teacher didn't think much of him. So the teacher has a project, or not a project, but an in-class thing. How'd that go again? She says, now, this is what you're going to do here, class. I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up and tell the class what a story from your life, and then afterwards say the moral to that story. So a girl puts up her hand. Yes, Becky, what's your story? So Becky stands up. She goes, my dad works for the hatchery here in town, and what happens was he got about 15 eggs, and he put them all in one basket, all in the same basket. So he put all his eggs in one basket. And he put it on the horse and buggy and drove back home. And by God, Becky says, the bouncing and all the eggs broke. Well, that's a good story, the teacher says, but what would the moral be to that? Becky says, well, the moral is, don't put all your eggs into one basket. But goddamn, says the teacher, that's a good one. Anybody else? Marjorie puts up her hand. Marjorie, what's your story? She says, well, my dad works for the hatchery, as all of us. Thank God for the hatchery. She says, or we'd all be lost. But anyways, my dad knows that eggs become chickens. And so he was counting his chickens, and he added in the eggs, you see. And then he put them on a horse and buggy to go to town, and they all broke. Well, what's the lesson to that? The teacher says she can't understand. And she says, well, don't count your chickens before they hatch out of an egg. So the teacher says, that's a great one, too. Anybody else? Well, wouldn't you know, Dirty Johnny has his hand up. So the teacher's like, holy God, I don't want it. But on the other hand, I made an oath to every child, should I suppose I gotta. All right, Dirty Johnny, what do you have to say? Johnny stands up. The story's about my Uncle Terry. He never worked at the hatchery. On account he was in Vietnam, and he got disability. He don't even like people who work at the hatchery. But the story happened far from these shores, in a little town called Da Nang. Terry was not well liked. His whole troop left him, abandoned. And he woke up in the weeds And all they left him with was 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, some weapons. Terry stood up and downed 1 bottle right away. Said, if I'm going out, I'm going out. He took his Balishnikov and a couple of Glocks and his 2 bottles, and away he went. He found a town. And he didn't know if it was Charlie or if it was one he was sent to protect. But all he knew was he had hate in his gut. So he started firing. And he fired the Kalashnikov with an arcing kind of, like a farmer would with hay, with a scythe. And sure enough, the men fell like hay before him. And then the women, and by God, I'm ashamed to say it, but then the children. And finally, all was left was Uncle Terry standing in the mud and the blood and the glory. And he touched his pants, and it was wet, and he said he was ashamed. He felt shame, Uncle Terry, for he'd pissed himself. Well, he touched it again. It was not urine at all, but ejaculate. And Uncle Terry felt pride where shame once was. And the teacher's like, good Christ, what kind of a story is that? What the hell is the moral to that? Oh, well, he says, when Uncle Terry's been drinking, you don't fuck with him. Now, especially if you work at the hatchery. Now, listen. So listen, guys, this has been fun, hasn't it?
This has been probably my
It's just been good. It saves me a trip to my senile uncle. So that's.
Wait, are you gonna have Thanksgiving though? Thanksgiving's coming up.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. We're gonna have a lot of time. We're gonna go see my uncle. I saw my uncle the other day. Oh, my uncle, he's having troubles, Conan.
Why is he having trouble?
You know my uncle Basil?
I don't know him.
No, but I've talked to him before.
Yeah, you've mentioned him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's having troubles. His memory's not too good. You know, and it's not. Thank God, it's not Alzheimer's or anything like that. But when a guy gets old, he starts forgetting. His memory starts. He doesn't, remember.
Right.
So I went to him. I went and talked to him. And I said to him, because I heard he got this new medicine for his memory at the doctors.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, Uncle Basil, I said, how's that memory stuff working out, medicine? He says, it's going good. I said, what's it called, that medicine, memory medicine?
That memory medicine, yeah.
I said, what's it called? What's the name of it? He goes, oh, the name of it. What is it now? Again, I can't remember now. He says, what's the name of that flower you give to people? And I said, I don't know. What, a tulip? And he said, no, not a tulip. He said, it's what is it now? It's a kind of a flower people wear. I said, is it a carnation? I don't know, Uncle Basil. He says, no, what the hell is it called? It's red. I said, I don't know, a rose? He said, yes. He said, Rose, what's the name of that medicine that the doctor gave me?
You rapscallion. Now listen, we want to talk about your uncle, because every time you come on the show, you have a story about your uncle who lives up in Canada.
Oh, yeah, he's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you always have like a little story about him.
Jean-Luc. Oh, yeah, he's a crazy character, that dude. He originally visited New York City. Hello?
I'm just having a drink. I can listen to you and have a drink. It's not like I went like this. Hold it. Ooh. Ah, liquid. Huh? I'm still here. Let's see if I got this right. You've got an uncle, lives up in Canada, named Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Occasionally he visits. Once time he visited New York.
So I'm living in New York, And Jean-Luc, I'm excited. Jean-Luc's going to come by, my crazy Frenchman uncle. So he gets in the cab, right?
When he gets to the airport.
Yeah, when he gets to the airport, the cab driver picks him up, and the cab driver says to him, hey, Frenchman, he says, do you like riddles, So my uncle Jean-Luc is like, yes, I love the riddles. That's how he talks. He goes, I like nothing better than a riddle. So the cabbie's like, all right, here's one, right? So he said, here's the riddle. His brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. So my uncle goes, I don't know. Right? So the cabbie goes, it's me. It's me.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, he thinks about it. Oh, by God, he says, that's a good riddle there. He says, I have to tell my wife, Mary Claire, when I get back to Gaspé. That's where he lives, Gaspé.
Right.
So he's like, take me back to the airport. And the cabbie's like, what? Right? The cabbie's like, I thought you wanted to go visit Norm then. No, no, no. I go back to the airport. All right, you know, I have to tell Mary Claire. Seems odd, right?
Right.
Gets back on the plane, flies all the way back home there to Gaspé. And he gets back, right? Runs in the door. Mary Claire, let's move. You know, where are you, Mary Claire? Come on down here. I have a riddle for you. She goes, oh, Jean-Luc, I love the riddle. She's a woman, high voice.
Michael Jackson was visiting. Yeah, all right.
So, you're going to love this riddle. How was New York? Forget about that. I got the riddle. Brothers and sisters, I have none. But this man's father, he's my father's son. She goes, oh, I don't know. Who is it? Some cab driver back in New York.
You didn't mean to do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Be honest, you didn't mean to do that.
At all. I just got to the end. That guy, man, I always tell my uncle, you shouldn't curse so much. You know?
Oh, man. All right. Well, we're going to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Let me ask you quickly. We haven't talked to you in so long. I want to ask you about your family.
My great family. I love them all.
How's your... we used to talk in the old days. You and I used to spin some yarns about Uncle Hector. How's Uncle Hector?
Oh, Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector...
He's Polish, too, I'm guessing.
No, he wasn't Polish.
Oh, okay.
No, he was from my cousin's side of the family. And he was... he was a great man, my uncle, you know. Right. He was an old fella. He actually rode the rails during the Depression.
Oh.
You know, he was a hobo.
Hobo.
As you might call him. I don't like that term, but whatever.
Tramp or whatever,
Yeah,
what have you.
Railroad bum. And, but he wasn't a bum. He was just out. He was a good, honest man during the Depression searching for work, you know. And, you know, he had no money, so he'd travel the country trying to find work, and he actually rode the rails, Uncle Hector. And he told me, it was an interesting story, he'd go through, this was in Canada, and there's a town called Kitchener in Canada, and the railroad cops were tough, boy. They were tougher than real cops, you know. They had a law of their own, the railroad cops.
I feel like I should be tucked into bed listening to you. Anyway, a law of their own, those railroad cops.
But there was not a railroad cop tougher than Kitchener Leslie. Oh, boy. He was well known. He was well known for beating hobos to death.
Really? He'd find a hobo on his train, he'd beat him to death.
He'd beat him to death. And so what the railroad bums would all do is, as Kitchener approached, of course... Oh, hey, Alan. Hey, Norm. How you doing? So...
Wow, such focus on these stories.
That wasn't a mirror. That was another guy.
Oh, it was a guy named Norm.
Yeah. So the railroad bums would all hop off before they got to Kitchener to avoid being beaten to death by Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
Anyways, my Uncle Hector, a good man, you know, and he walked into a mine one day. This is a story for that I think the young people could learn from.
Don't go mine hopping, kids.
During the height of the Depression, where there was absolutely no work, my Uncle Hector walked into I won't say the name of the mining company. It was McIntyre Mine, and he walked in. He had his lunchbox with him and his work boots, and he said, "Sir," he said, "I want a job." And they said, "We have no jobs." He said, "Well, 500 people work here at McIntyre Mine." He goes, I don't think there are 500 men here better than I. He says, as a matter of fact, I don't think there are 200 men better than I. He says, I think you'd be strapped to find 100 men better than I. And by golly, he got the job. What do you think of that?
That's a great story.
Now...
I'm sensing there's more. Now back to Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
The most dreaded.
No. Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector.
What?
No, we wanna talk about
Sorry, I'm
Uncle-
trying to help you out.
No, Uncle Hector.
Dad, where's this story going?
Uncle Hector worked in a mine, and it's a hellish job, the mine, as you well know. Darkness, you know.
It's dank. It's
dank.
Yeah.
It's coaly. It's a lot of
what?
Well, you're in a coal mine.
It's not coaly. It's coal-ridden.
It's
coal-infested. It's not coaly.
It's coal-infested. So he worked in the mine, and by God, he worked hard. And after a week of working hard, he said to the shift manager, he said, He said, by golly, I'd like to have a lady. I work hard, and where would I find a lady here in town? Well, they said to Uncle Hector, they says, we have sex with animals here. By God, says Uncle Hector, I'm not going to do that. I'm a normal fellow. Well, then be to your own devices then. So,
be to your own devices?
Yeah.
Wow.
Uncle Hector continued working in the mine. He worked hard, and he worked long, and he worked for a low wage. But he was a man. And Uncle Hector, after a couple of weeks passed, he started to get a little itch, you know, as you and I say.
Right.
You know,
Right. Well, when we're thinking about the
ladies,
yeah.
And but he kept it under control. He went again, and he said, "Are you sure there's no ladies here?" "No, we have sex with animals." "Ah, my God." 6 months passed, and Uncle Hector couldn't take it any longer, he told me.
Right.
He said, by God, I just had to, I'm just a man, I'm weak, you know, I'm not a saint, you know, and I was born in sin, I suppose, and I couldn't resist. I just needed it. So he said he walked by a pasture, and there was a pig.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so Uncle Hector said, well, he said, I walked up and I began having sex with a pig. And he said, all of a sudden, he saw all the miners like around him, you know, looking at him. They go, Uncle Hector, what the hell are you doing over there? And Uncle Hector's like indignant. He's like, what? Well, you're the guys that told me that you have sex with animals. They're like, Uncle Hector, you damn fool. That's Kitchener Leslie's girlfriend. Of all the
animals to have sex with.
You don't want to have sex
with not with Kitchener Leslie's pig. No, that's terrible.
Not Kitchener Leslie's pig. Kitchener Leslie's lady.
Oh, yeah. So you got a week off.
Yeah, I got a week off coming up. After this show, I got a week off, so it's going to be great.
Do you see your family much?
Every break, I like to go back and see my folks, you know, and also my uncles and aunts and all that, you know. They're great people. The old people, you know, what I find about the old people is...
Just in general.
In general, they had so much more interesting lives than we do, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like we, you know, we go out, our generation, we go, okay, hey, let's go to a movie, and then we'll do the laundry and get some quarters for the laundry, and then we'll read the Sports Illustrated, you know, and whatever, right?
Right.
But these guys, they had lives, you know? Where they, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. So anyways, for instance, my Uncle Phil. You ever meet my Uncle Phil?
I didn't meet your Uncle Phil, no.
Oh, you didn't? He was...
Yeah, we don't know each other that well. Remember?
That's true.
No,
So,
I've not met your Uncle Phil.
He's a good man, Uncle Phil. So he was telling me, you know, he's just one of these guys that has so many lives pushed into one. He just does so many things, you know. And he was telling me, he says, he's a kind of a jack of all trades, you'd call him.
Yeah. That's a good phrase.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades. So he was telling me, he said, the problem is you're not really appreciated for any single thing because you're so good at so many things. You understand what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah. So he said to me one time, he says, Norm, he says, we were just walking through his town, you know, of Monkland, Maine he lives in. And we were just walking through the town. He's an old fella, you know?
Right, one of the old people.
Yeah, he's 80.
Yeah, 80, okay.
80 years young, he says. So he goes, Norm, you see that barn over there, he says to me. I look over, there's a barn. I go, yeah. He goes, I built that barn with my own hands, all by myself. But he goes,
do they call me? Do they say, there's Phil, the barn builder? No, sir, he says. I said, yeah. He goes, look over there. You see that weather balloon? He says, you don't know this about me, Norm. He says, I was one of the first men ever to fly in a weather balloon. Wow. He says, but do they say, hey, there goes Phil, the weather balloon pioneer? No. He says, look over there, there's a bakery that I started. You know, that dirty bastard Bob has it now, but I'm the guy that started that bakery. And I go, all right, easy. And he goes, I started that bakery and I was the best baker, but does anybody go, oh, there goes Phil, the great baker? No, he says, but he says, let me tell you something, Norm. He says, you have sex with one goat. And he says, people then, they say, there goes Bill, the dirty goat.
Get rid of that. We don't need that microphone anymore, do we? Wow, well, I do want to meet this man someday. He sounds fascinating.
My dad would always tell this joke, and it was about a little boy called Dirty Johnny. You know, and he'd be in class. You ever heard Dirty Johnny?
The Dirty Johnny jokes, yes.
Heard the whole series.
In this in this joke, he's not dirty. But anyways, the teacher has a thing, and the teacher says, today in class, we are going to have a little experiment. You're going to tell a story from your real life, and then afterwards, you are going to tell the moral of that story. You know? So Sheila puts up her hand, and the teacher says, Sheila, what's your story? So Sheila says, well, my dad works at the hatchery, and he took some eggs, and he put them all in a basket. All the eggs he put in one basket. And then he put them in the horse and buggy, and off we went to town, and the earth was uneven, and the eggs broke. And the teacher goes, well, that's an all right story, but I can't understand what the moral would be to that story. So Sheila says, well, the moral is, don't put all of your eggs into one basket. So the teacher says, well, by God, this is exactly what I'm looking for and what I was hoping for with this experiment.
Yeah.
And anybody else have one? So Marjorie puts up her hand. Okay, Marjorie, what's your story? Well, my father works for the hatchery. Most of us.
Most people in that town worked in the hatchery.
Worked at the hatchery.
Thank God for the hatchery, she says. Or where would we be? So she says, my father, he sells chickens. And he knows that eggs become chickens. See what I mean? So he had to count his chickens so he'd go and sell them in town. So he had 9 chickens and 5 eggs. So instead of saying he had 9 chickens, he added the 5 eggs. You see, he counted them as chickens. So he said, I have 14 chickens. So he took them, Sheila says, and put them in the horse and buggy, and off they went to town, but the land was uneven. The chickens sure survived easily. They frolicked. The eggs broke. Well, the teacher says again, that's a story, you know. But what on earth could the moral of that story be? Well, Sheila says, if that's her name, I forgot. She says, don't count your chickens before they hatch out of the eggs.
Right.
Teacher says you could probably shorten it a little. So, but that's great. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And then she looks at the back of the class, and by God, there's the upraised hands, as you say, fucking Dirty Johnny.
Fucking Dirty Johnny. He's going to ruin the lesson.
So the teacher, inside of her head, her thoughts are moving around, and she's like, God, I don't want to hear Dirty Johnny say it. This is going so well, but at the same time, I took a vow and I became a teacher that every student. All right, Johnny, let's hear your story. So Dirty Johnny gets up and he says, This is a story about my Uncle Terry. He didn't work for the hatchery. He didn't even like people that did. He was in Vietnam. And he lives on the disability checks he got. Uncle Terry was not a popular man, not even among those he worked with. And I suppose we've all heard of people who've deserted from their battalion. But I don't know if you've ever heard of a battalion deserting a man. That's what they did with Uncle Terry. One day, Uncle Terry awoke in the middle of Da Nang, and everybody was gone. He was alone, and they'd left him 3 bottles of Jack Daniels and some weaponry. So, Uncle Terry got up, says Dirty Johnny, and he downed the bottle of Jack Daniels in 2 slugs, and he threw it down and smashed it into the jungle. And then he walked, picked up the 2 Kalashnikovs and 3 or 4 Glocks and a couple of hand grenades, and off he walked into the unknown, the jungle, his fate. Came upon a village, and from the village came people. Now, were they Charlie, or were they the people that Terry was sent to protect from Charlie? Uncle Terry didn't know. But he knew he had to do something, so he took another swig from the bottle, and he let loose. Took that Kalashnikov, and he let it sway like a farmer would a scythe. And the bullets came, and just as hay would fall before a farmer, so the people fell before Uncle Terry. The men, the women, and by God, even the children. And finally, Uncle Terry stood alone in the mud and the blood and the guts and only at himself. He took a long swig, and his hand brushed against his pants, and he felt wetness, and then he felt shame because he realized he had urinated himself in fear. And then, upon closer inspection, he realized it was not urine. It's ejaculate. And his shame was replaced by pride. And the teacher goes, "Holy fucking shit, what the fuck? Fucking kind of fucking story is that? Like, we just heard the hatchery and shit, and now this?" She goes, Uncle Terry, well, Dirty Johnny, what on earth could be the moral to such a story? So Johnny thinks about it for a couple of minutes, and he goes, "Well, I don't know, I guess. Well, I know one thing. You don't fuck with Terry when he's had some drink in him." And he's uncorked the jug. You stay away from Uncle Terry. And he doesn't like anybody that works at the hatchery either. You remember that. You tell your parents that.
Wow.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith.
Go into those,
What was your thing? Goodwill Smith? How'd that one go?
I was just, it's,
on Mad TV, they would often
like parodies.
combine 2 things.
I pitched a thing called
Goodwill Smith.
Goodwill Smith.
All right.
He worked at an all-black college, and the problem on the blackboard that no one could solve was 2 + 2. Then Will Smith plays a janitor who puts a 4, and they go, "Who solved it?" It's It took the professors 8 years to figure this one out. They rejected it. They said it was like racist.
I'm scared of letting go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go. I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go of everything in the past. I'm scared of letting go.
Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Okay, and finally next Thursday, Americans everywhere will celebrate the holiday of Thanksgiving, or as turkeys refer to it, Murder Day.
I got a list of things that I'm thankful for. Every year I make them on the day before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So I can make a little speech, you know?
Right.
And I like it if you'll have me to read my list.
Yeah, I'm going to not even interrupt you. You take your time.
Well, firstly, I'm thankful for the fine ladies who live across this country and leave pies on their windowsills, so an old chunk of coal like me might have a meal from time to time. I'm thankful for all of my 5 children, especially the one that I like. I'm thankful for the simple things in life, like bread. Although I've never tried it myself, I hear it's quite good. I'm very thankful for the brave man who pulled me from a burning building last April and unfortunately perished in the process. I'll never forget him, you know. I don't remember his name, but I think he had a mustache.
Jesus, Lord.
Of course, I'm thankful for being able to do stand-up comedy for a living, you know? There's nothing more gratifying than to step on a stage before a quiet crowd and with my comedy slowly turn them into an unruly mob. I'm thankful for women, the greatest creatures on earth, because without women, Dennis, there would be no cookies.
I'm thankful for women.
Oh, there you go.
The greatest creatures on earth.
That's all right. We'll get behind that one.
I think women are more intelligent than men. Also, Conan, without women, there would be no cookies.
I'm glad that this year the police finally solved the baffling murder of Margot Hemingway.
Hey, I'm thankful that this year the police finally solved the baffling murder of Bob Hope. No, the Burbank police and the LA... and finally... and this is on a serious note.
The baffling murder of Bob Hope was so...
And finally, what I'm most thankful for, of course, is serious, you know, is friends. Yes, friends. Especially that one where Joey buys Chandler a duck. That's the one I like the best.
Norm, I don't even think we punctuate that. I think it is such a beautiful list that we appreciate you calling in. We are thankful for your continued patronage here, and you have a good time in Hawaii. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Yeah, give my love to your family, buddy.
What I'm most thankful for, honest to God, is friends.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, Conan, friends. Especially the one where Joey buys Chandler a duck.
All right, yeah. The hell was that all about?
Baby, won't you come by? Everything's better with you by my side. A movie and dinner tonight. Pour a couple drinks and yeah, we're feeling fine.
Chris Kattan you didn't like.
Kattan's all right. Just we had
you know, when you're in that, it's like being, I won't say it's like being in war, but when you're in a situation, everyone's fighting for themselves.
There's another great quick Norm story. Great quick Norm story.
Kid, Artie.
Well, Jim will appreciate that. They do a big Rolling Stone article about the Kansas City.
That was a great one, man.
They do a big Rolling Stone article about the cast.
I got a good one.
What? So the cast of Saturday Night Live.
Right, yeah.
And it's everybody kissing each other's ass. So they ask Norm about Chris Kattan. And it's after pages of, I've never seen someone do better character work. Norm's quote is, he seems gay to me. He goes, I've never met a guy who said he wasn't gay. He seems so gay. But I guess he says he's not gay, so whatever.
Hey.
I love that.
What about Norm MacDonald? You're at war with him as well. You two don't like each other.
Warring with Norm?
Here's what Norm said.
Oh, good.
I got it for you.
Another one.
Chris and Norm MacDonald apparently hate each other. This is according to my notes. When Norm hosted Saturday Night Live, Chris did not appear on the show. Wow.
Wait, when was...
In November of 97.
Oh, right.
Norm said of Chris, I don't know, but to me he seems gay. Right. He claims he's not, but I've never seen like a guy who's not gay seem so gay. I don't find him funny. What can I say? Never made me laugh. What happened between... First of all, I don't believe you're gay, are you? I know someone you dated.
No, I'm not gay.
Yeah, you did.
And he's certainly had to have laughed at you once or twice.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
a funny guy.
Right.
Well, that was the
I mean, your
Rolling
characters.
Stone
Some of your
article.
characters are effeminate, so maybe people think you're
Right,
gay.
like Mango's, like, you know,
he's gay,
queer as day.
Right. So
yeah.
So is Norm a homophobe? Is that the problem? He doesn't like gay
definitely
characters?
think he has a problem with
But give me the history of this. I love feuds.
Okay, let's see. What is, I don't know
You
exactly.
didn't appear on the show for a reason. You just
No. I don't. I just think I didn't get my sketches in. It wasn't like I'm not appearing in the show.
And when you're on Saturday Night Live, I've heard this before. When you say you didn't get your sketches in, you have to write your own material. If you don't get it in, if
it doesn't pass muster,
then you're not on the show.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, every week.
So do you have to hire separate guys to help you write material?
No. I mean they're there. There's there's people you write with normally. So
right. Okay. Because I
But,
heard some people don't help other people. You know.
No, some people don't.
Right.
But I'm not. Because I'm not exactly the easiest guy to write for, though. I'm not like. I'm not an everyman. I can't be the boyfriend all the time. I'm more of a freak.
So why Norm MacDonald? I mean, Norm is an easygoing guy. I know Norm. Why the dislike? Something happened.
Well, let's see. When I first got on the show, he was so nice. He and Spade,
right,
were just like so nice. And then I don't know what happened. He just started. Like Garth Brooks was, we did like a pitch meeting, and he started saying things in the pitch meeting like, you don't want to do, like Garth Brooks was a guest.
Yeah.
He was a guest. I was like, I'm sure you don't want to do another fag sketch. Like things like that, and people would laugh.
Oh, dear.
I was like, why is he saying
All of this?
And then it got kind of old, like, Jesus, Norm, you're like another...
And it makes you inhibited in a writing meeting if someone's goofing on you every time you open up your mouth, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't care because I'm not gay. If I was like, some gay guy going, I don't want anyone to know that I'm just...
Right. And so the gay jokes kept going and going and going.
Yeah, the gay jokes kept going and going.
And then you finally said, hey, I've had it with you, Norm.
Well,
did you ever confront him?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but it's like a playful thing. He says it's like a Jack Benny, Fred Allen kind of a feud thing.
But you don't see it that way.
No, I think he's I don't know. But he this is what happened. We were on a flight together. We didn't plan on being together on the same flight. We were flying from LA back to New York to do Saturday Night Live, and it was a red eye. And he's behind me, and we're, getting along, whatever. He's talking about crapping on women, or I don't know what he was talking about. Something like that.
Yeah,
and it was funny because he was so loud,
right?
So everyone else could hear it. I'm like, I just crap on this girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, laughing.
Right.
Because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
And then I wake up, and, because it's a red eye, and one of my shoes is missing. And I was like, where's my shoe? And Norm's like, hey, you lost your shoe, huh? And then he leaves. And I'm like, so disoriented. And I'm the last guy in the flight looking for my shoe. And I just, walk off the plane with one shoe. And all the stewardesses like, you are funny.
Oh, no. So he stole your shoe.
He stole my shoe.
And he's playing goofs on you. He's not respecting you.
Right.
Right.
And then I took his jacket on a really cold night.
Yes.
And his assistant called me at home going, I got to get Norm's jacket. Please get me Norm's jacket. And she was like freaking out.
Right.
I was like, no, this is between Norm and I.
You can't play in this game. Right. Chauncey Hayden, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how's it going?
All right.
I've interviewed Chris before. He's a good guy. Chris,
Thank you.
is it not true that Jim Brewer, your former cast member, had a problem with you as well?
I think at one point he thought I stole an idea from him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, man, there's so much infighting. You got to admit.
But they're really, that's it though.
Really?
That's not much for like 6 years.
With a lot of the cast members, and I think with Chris, do you remember that Rolling Stone cover came out, and they only put certain members of SNL on the
Yeah,
cover?
that was a big deal.
Didn't that cause a lot of strife inside?
Yeah, well...
Why, they only chose certain amount of people for the cover. It was you.
Right, it was Will, me, Molly Shannon, and Sherry O'Terry.
And you did the cover, and the rest of the cast felt like, hey, what are we, garbage?
What is this?
But why be mad at you?
Because of our characters, too. You know, it was like there was the cheerleaders.
You were the breakout guys.
Roxbury guys.
Right.
And Mary Catherine.
But aren't they mad or jealous because you guys broke out and they didn't? And don't they think that you should stick up for them and insist that they be on the cover as well? But you don't have that kind of juice.
No, what are we gonna?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's only makes sense that they would be on the cover, but what are we gonna do? I mean, Norm wanted to be. There's a big stink because he wanted to be on the cover
by himself.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't know if he wanted. No, he wanted to be
in that picture.
I don't know. He showed up later, and then he wanted to be. He wanted to stand in the middle of us.
And you said no.
Well, it was just like weird.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why are you
like who are you?
Here it's like my variety show. What?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess he thought he was the guy. All right, Chauncey, thanks. All right. Artie Lang, go ahead.
Hey, Howard,
Artie
what's
Lang.
up, man?
Yeah, hey, Artie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I like Chris. I think he's funny. But what he said before about that Rolling Stone cover is wrong.
All right, go. Artie's going to defend Norm, I guess.
Norm represents.
You know, you might be wrong.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's just that Chris made it sound like Norm showed up begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Oh no, he wasn't begging. He was just like assuming he was on the cover with us, and
Well, he was though.
I know he was.
But he wanted to stand in the middle as well.
No. They were begging Norm to do it, and he thought it seemed weird.
He didn't want to do it.
Right, he thought it seemed weird to stand in the middle of all you guys.
Oh, that's true.
They definitely wanted Norm to be on the cover because at the time, I mean, he was the funniest guy on the show. Howard, you've said that a million times.
I think Norm is hysterical.
He is. I already said that.
Yeah, and so does Chris. I think Chris.
He made it sound like Norm's begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone. You guys said no.
Hey, Artie, do you know why Norm has such a problem with Chris?
No.
What is his problem?
I don't know. I wasn't there when they met or all that stuff happened.
Never really.
Well, you are Mrs. Norm
Wait a
MacDonald.
minute, you weren't there during the shoot either, but you know all about that.
As a matter of fact, I was, because me and Norm had already done the movie, and I had lunch with his assistant. We went over there.
There you go,
Yeah, I
Artie.
can tell you, Howard, it's Christopher Walken. I hosted Saturday Night Live
Yes.
several times. I think Norm is just a funny guy. He came up to me one day and said, I'm a big fan. I said, what's your favorite movie? He said, Chris Kattan's a fag.
Really?
Nothing to do with anything.
Oh, that's
I, for the
ridiculous.
record, have never heard Norm say that.
All right. Thank you, Artie.
All right, man.
Where are you today?
I'm in beautiful New Jersey.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
You want to hear?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go.
We're on SNL one time, right? This is what Norm just didn't care about anyone. This a quick story. Pamela Anderson is on, and every time a hot chick would come on, Kattan would go over the top to like, oh my God, he'd write a sketch. We're gonna make out.
Right.
She's hot. She's with Tommy Lee. Hammer, back off.
Yeah, right.
Come on. So he writes a sketch, and they do this sketch where it's the Twilight Zone when everyone's in pig face or something.
Right.
All right. So that's the goof. So me, Kattan, we're all in it, and Norm is the guy who's got to go, imagine if you will. And Norm doesn't read sketches, and he's a pro.
Right.
So he would rehearse it and go, hey, imagine if you will, and second time, and Kattan would go, oh my God, you don't even sound like him. Why would you do that? And I would stand and go, Norm, you gonna hit him back? Like, you gonna say something to him? You just gonna take that from this guy? Now we go to a dress show, which has an audience, and it's being filmed.
Right.
And again, he starts punking into Norm on the set.
Right.
He's going, oh my God, Norm, you gonna do it right? It's my only sketch.
Right, you don't sound like Rod Serling.
Hey, imagine, 10, 9, and we're on. Hey, imagine if you will. He knew the deal.
Right.
Now we go to air. And Norm still hasn't said nothing. Every time Kattan would say something to him, I'd look at Norm like, hey, man, you're my hero. What's up? Because if you're not going to say something, I will.
Right.
And sure enough, he'd give me like a wink. I swear to you, he'd give me a wink. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Live Air comes on, and I'm like, 20 seconds to the Twilight Zone sketch. He starts up again. We're Mike, the whole audience is listening. He's like, I can't. Norm, you've been a salad. Oh, God, Pamela, you're so hot. Norm, Pamela, I can't wait if you ever get rid of 10 seconds. Norm turns to Catan. Right before his head, he goes, hey, Pamela, did Chris tell you he's gay yet? And he's got all this rage because he likes being gay. Why don't you just say you're gay and you wouldn't have all this anger and be a pester? 5 seconds! And you wouldn't have all this rage and try to interrupt everyone's sketch because you suck this week. And we're on! Imagine if you will. I'm like, there's my hero. There's my hero.
See, he knew to save it for the live air.
Saved it. He saved
nice.
it.
And Catan sank.
I couldn't even get my words.
You told me that we should go our separate ways. But I just want to live my life without.
Yeah, I didn't say what he said. He was saying he was being.
He was paraphrasing and being kind. What did you say?
Well, Chris is a great guy, but he used to bring around women all the time to the show, Big, tall women, Big bruisers, And he'd say, look, I'm heterosexual. I mean, he wouldn't say that out loud, but that's what that would be the caption on the picture in the New Yorker. Boy, those are funny.
So it was something related to his sexuality.
Maybe. But listen, if I call a person gay, that ain't no insult.
It's a good thing nowadays.
Yeah, if you say it's an insult, you're the homophobe, not me.
Correct. Supreme Court says so.
That's absolutely. Would you care to hear my Anthony Hopkins?
I want to hear
From Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, I want to hear.
You be
your
the girl.
impression?
You be the girl.
Jodie Foster?
Yeah, just say something.
Who recently came out, right?
Yeah, but don't put that.
I'm not plugging that.
Okay, so just say it. Like I'm Hannibal the cannibal.
I'm Jodie Foster. I can't do Jodie.
No, just say any line.
Okay, Hannibal, you're terrible. What have you done to these innocent people?
Clarice, I don't know what you dream about, but I ate a guy. That wasn't good at all. I've never done it. Here's the problem. I've never done an impression of him.
Do one. Here's Jessica Biel from Flashdance.
Okay. So Jessica, man, aren't you getting ready for your dance?
Yeah, I gotta go. I got a big thing tonight. It's like
Jennifer.
My Jessica Biel and his Anthony Hopkins.
It was pretty close. They were pretty close. No, sometimes you think a good impression might come out. Do you ever do that?
What?
You go,
I didn't even hear what you said.
You go, man, I like this guy. I'll try him. Maybe it'll come out and sound like him.
It's the first time you try an impression. Like, maybe I could do Cary Grant. Yeah, I'm Cary. Nah, it didn't work out.
That scene that you guys
Daryl, where's Daryl?
The scene that you
Here's
guys
my
just
Daryl.
did, the one that you just did.
Yes.
You did it a few times, so.
Yeah, every time we try to mix it up a little,
It's good to do it less than more.
Sometimes less is more. Sometimes
it really is.
Sometimes more is more when you're talking about fat women, but less is more when it's acting.
Yeah, if you're talking about little women, it's better to talk more about them.
Yeah, less is less. With
talk
women,
less about heavier women.
But less is more in acting. But with big fat women, less is actually less. More is more. There's no hiding that.
It's true. Here's my impression of a big fat woman. Not very good.
Hey, fatty.
So how much longer are you guys going to be here?
What?
We're that's it.
Let's do a little from the sunshine.
We flew in for a half hour.
Let's do a little from the sunshine.
We're here for another week, I think.
But next year the sunshine was. You want to hear a little?
I don't know
sunshine
any
voice?
from the sunshine.
I don't know. Well, they said we could ad-lib it all.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to get together, get back on the road again. See, do our vaudeville act.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Don't you see I got all this paperwork to do?
Yeah, you're balder than anything.
Wait a minute. If I weren't 70.
Ah.
Let's see. That's good.
That was
I got all this paperwork to do, and if I weren't 70.
It's the rules. It's how to capture a man's heart, and it's for women. And it says all these rules that you have to follow, and you will capture a man's heart. And the rule number 1: have huge breasts. Yeah, that guy likes it. Yeah.
Because apparently men love women with huge breasts.
They do. They like that.
That's what they say. Not this character over here, Andy.
Newlyweds Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had their first argument this week. He wants kids, while she wants fake kids. Pop singer Madonna was outraged this week when a tabloid photographer snapped her picture while she was breastfeeding her new baby. Apparently, the baby was blocking her nipple. Connecticut legislatures are about to pass a law that would make it illegal to prohibit breastfeeding in public. Then, hopefully, these legislatures will also change the fascist law that the person being breastfed in public has to be a baby. Michael Jackson has reportedly stepped right into his new role as a dad, spending many hours a day with his newborn son, doing the changing, the burping, even the breastfeeding. So, it's nice when a fella does that. Asked recently what will set his new Batman film apart from its predecessors, Batman and Robin director Joel Schumacher said, quote, "In this one, all the costumes will have nipples." Note to self, do not watch the next Batman and Robin. While Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 most powerful people in Hollywood hit the newsstands this month, in an odd bit of ranking, Demi Moore was ranked number 28, while her breasts were ranked 20 and 21. So, in an interview out this week, Demi Moore says she would like to have another baby, this time a boy, to go along with her 3 daughters and 2 huge breasts. Demi Moore is wrapped filming on G.I. Jane, in which she plays a Navy SEAL combat officer. Moore says that in contrast to other Hollywood portrayals of women in the military, her character will have giant breasts. Actor Bruce Willis is filming his next movie, The Broadway Brawler, in Wilmington, Delaware. Meanwhile, his wife, Demi Moore, is taking a break from movie work, saying she wants to spend more time with her huge breasts.
Connected to our senses. Found a way to let you share.
Who do you think is attractive?
I like Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh,
come on.
You're
You don't like her?
Come on.
You don't like Anna Nicole Smith?
Come on, she's gotten heavy. He's putting me on.
No, I'm not.
I
I saw a picture of her recently where she was really, really fat, where she didn't look good.
Right, but you're talking about years ago when she was thin. Oh, okay.
Not that long ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So you like big breasts?
Yeah, I like big breasts.
Does your wife have big breasts?
She has normal size breasts.
What, C cups?
I don't know. I hear you talk about those. I don't follow those.
You're in bad shape. Do you like Sally Struthers too?
Oh,
I did.
You
yeah.
did, right? Yeah, that's your type.
Oh my
like
God,
blonde
I love
and buxom.
Sally Struthers.
Not anymore though.
What?
Well, you don't like her anymore.
No, I don't like her with the flies around her.
Yeah, it's kind of a turn off.
You got to look into the future. It's like the word. It's like the word retard.
Well, yeah, hey, don't get me started.
That's the word right now, because I think people have stopped saying gay meaning lame.
Yeah.
The more evolved.
They're
However, the word retard is still, I think.
Before you argue that they should stop saying retarded, I like to ask 2 questions. I go, number 1, because you have to find out about their past. And if they answer these questions differently, I give them the different speech. I go, do you think Jew me down? Do you think we stopped it because we shouldn't have had to, but people are so PC? And if they went, no, that's horrible.
What did they say when you, stop with that joint there, you're getting spit on it?
So, no, hold on a second. So most people would say that we stopped those things because it was egregious.
Yes.
I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so you have to say, so if the answer is no to those things, like we stopped them because they were bad, then why do you fucking think that retarded is going to stand the test of time? I don't get why.
Just look into the past. You're all dressed up.
Yeah, they told me to dress up for Comedy Week.
Explain to the folks what Comedy Week is. You fucking retard. No, can you explain?
Not really.
2 23-year-old women in China this week have set a record, living 12 days in a room with 888 deadly snakes. They now hold a place, a coveted place, in the Guinness Book of World Retard. 20th Century Fox has announced that Macaulay Culkin will not be hired to star in Home Alone 3. Studio spokesman said that it was nothing personal, but with Culkin now 16 years of age, the only way to keep him in the film would be to make the character retarded. In an effort to feel smarter than somebody, Dan Quayle this week spoke to 4,000 Amway employees. Dismissed Simpson juror Jeanette Harris revealed in interviews this week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into two camps, those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. In a recent interview, Christy Brinkley suggested that football players should have special gloves connected to lights on their helmets. That way, when they catch the ball, you'll know who has possession. Read these and other interesting ideas in Christy's new book, I'm an Idiot. New York Governor George Pataki this week announced a plan to cut state scholarship aid to college students who do not maintain at least a C average. Sadly, the students hurt most by these cuts will be the idiots. According to published reports, MTV News anchor Tabitha Soren has been romantically linked with journalist Michael Lewis. Soren denies the reports, claiming she doesn't have time for a boyfriend because she's too busy pretending not to be stupid. And finally, the Oscar nominations were announced this week, and Tom Hanks and Jodie Foster are in a heated competition in the Academy's controversial new category, Best Retard. When I lived in L.A., I lived on the actual street called Melrose Place. There's an actual street.
There's a Melrose. Is there really a Melrose
There's really
place?
a Melrose Place.
Okay.
You know this, right?
Yes, that's true.
So they opened a restaurant called Melrose Place on it, and then it's right beside my house. And every time I go out, there's all these retards, like tourists, and these tourist retards, like they're always fat and they're taking pictures, standing in front of this restaurant.
Yeah.
Magician David Copperfield has announced plans to open his own theme restaurant. The theme, I don't deserve my girlfriend. In one of the most amazing stories to come out of New York's blizzard of '96, supermodel Claudia Schiffer trudged over a mile through waist-high snow this week in order to make it to a photo session. Even more amazing, she sleeps with this guy. This week, supermodel Claudia Schiffer broke up with magician David Copperfield. Later, a devastated Copperfield wandered out onto the street and was hit by a bus. This, according to the current issue of Things I Wish Really Happened. In other entertainment news, a religious group in Chile is trying to ban a new Claudia Schiffer film which features explicit lesbian sex scenes. According to the group, sex between two women is an abomination before God, almost as blasphemous as sex between a woman and David Copperfield. I'm know which is worse. Which is more of an abomination? Julia Roberts told reporters this week that her marriage to Lyle Lovett has been over for some time. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Julia Roberts and that she was married to Lyle Lovett. Christy Brinkley told reporters this week that her marriage to Billy Joel was over long before their divorce. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Christy Brinkley and that she was married to Billy Joel. In a recent interview, Christy Brinkley suggested that football players should have special gloves connected to lights on their helmets. That way, when they catch the ball, you'll know who has possession. Read these and other interesting ideas in Christy's new book, I'm an Idiot. In Niagara Falls, Arthur Curley has been charged with trying to make his girlfriend swallow a small brass bear, then urinating on her and setting fire to the oxygen tube that she uses to treat her emphysema. Read all about this kind of relationship in the new book, Men Who Make Their Girlfriends Swallow Brass Bears, Urinate on Them, and Set Fire to Their Oxygen Tubes, and the Women Who Love Them. And in a recent interview, tenor Luciano Pavarotti says that he is so in love with his new girlfriend that he likes to run nude on the beach with her. Read all about this in this month's issue of Things That Make Me Vomit. That picture makes me vomit as well. Finally, in entertainment news, there are rumors that actor Don Johnson is dating 71-year-old San Francisco socialite Denise Hale. An observer who spotted the couple necking in a restaurant will have trouble getting an erection for the rest of his life. Well, newlyweds Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had their first argument this week. He wants kids while she wants fake kids. Only weeks away from parenthood, Pamela Lee Anderson and her husband, rocker Tommy Lee, are considering names for their new baby. If it's a girl, they'll name it after the mother and call it Pamela. And if it's a boy, they'll name it after the father and call it Lucky Bastard. I was reading Pamela Anderson is married. That's in the news.
That's right. That's technically in the news. Yeah, to rocker Tommy Lee.
And she's
right?
pregnant.
Yeah.
She's going to have a baby, and they say if the baby's a girl, they're going to name it after the mother, so they call it Pamela, right? But if the baby's a boy, then they're going to name it after the father. They're going to call it Lucky Bastard.
You told me with such joy.
I know.
I'm so told with such joy and commitment. That alone will get you an Emmy.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I wasn't broken apart by you.
Action.
Well, Mrs. Johnson.
Oh my God, I think he broke my nose!
Oh, Tommy, you know this is a movie, right?
Oh, a movie! Yes! I forgot. Oh, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry there. Hey, amigo, no hard feelings, huh, buddy? Oh, man, I'm sorry, baby. You know, I just love you so much. You know, it just gets me crazy, you know?
Hey! Hey!
Get your freaking hands off my wife!
Me and your wife, we were just acting, right? Tell him, honey.
Honey?
No, no! Company, take a look.
I'm Dina Eastwood, and I live in Carmel, California. Morgan is my 15-year-old daughter.
God bless America.
I have a stepdaughter named Francesca Ruth. Are you nude?
Yeah.
And I have a great, supportive, artistic husband. I'm married to Clint Eastwood.
bucks, Oscars, $1 billion at the box office, and I'm in a goddamn reality show.
We're meeting tonight for dinner, and ew, the diarrhea! Get away!
My wife, real class act. And yes, that was diarrhea.
Tyler Shields is extremely headstrong. I think that's part of the reason he's so appealing to Francesca, is that he's such a man.
I'm so in love with him. I've never felt this way before, ever.
Punk. I'm talking to you, Punk. Hey, Punk. I have to ask you to turn that camera off for a while. Seriously.
Know the end this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all.
Well, maybe you'll tell us about your best misdemeanor arrest then.
I've never made a misdemeanor arrest either.
Then what the hell gives you the right to become an inspector when there's men have been out there on the street for 10 or 15 years?
We'll take a break. We'll be right back right after this with the NORM MACDONALD.
You're taking a break?
What? We take breaks. The mics are off. Don't worry.
Wait, is this King of the Road?
Well, that's French. Ring, die, die. I could sing this song.
It's King of the Road.
Yeah. It's in another language. Okay, fade that out.
Are you really good at finding things quickly? Get Roger Miller's King of the Road English version. I'm going to point out an incredible line in it.
All right. I like this. You know, I like taking songs that no one knows the meaning of them. And this first one, I don't know. You guys might go, yeah, Todd, everybody knows that. But I didn't know the Pina Colada song, what that meant.
Oh, yes. I just played that on something because I got them to play the whole thing on that stupid man cow, and he still didn't understand. I'm listen to this song.
Can you so for the hey,
wait, Todd, do you mean like you didn't understand the story?
I didn't understand.
No, well, most people you just hear the.
Do you like Pina Colada? That's all.
They don't realize it's about adultery.
Yeah. It's about a guy, but
it's
here's
the strangest adultery story ever.
But here's the part with that song that I always realized. This is if it did ever happen. So for the people that don't know, let me fill them in real quick. So basically, it's saying, a guy takes an ad out. And for the people that know, they're like, Todd.
First, he sees an ad in the paper,
and it
because he goes, me and my old lady, things were getting kind of dull. It's like, huh? Called her his old lady.
Yeah, that's the problem. You call her the old lady. No respect at all. Hey, me and my old lady were having problems. Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot.
You want to take any responsibility for this at all?
No, it's my old lady.
So as she lays sleeping, he scours the personal ads.
Oh, God. Scouring.
Yeah.
And then
it's an ugly.
Explain the song.
And then
quickly.
He finds it one, and the text of it is, if you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain. If you like something else, walking in the sand, whatever.
Yeah. It's enough. I get it.
Romantic things people like. Then you're like me, So he goes, this is the lady for me, not this hag of a wife, not my old lady.
Hey, this is somebody that he really should be with.
Yeah, it's soulmate out there.
They should meet.
His soulmate. So then he goes, well, I'll put an ad in the paper. I don't know why. He could have just phoned the number, but he put an ad the next week that said, hey, I like pina colada. He answered her.
Right. Yeah. I like walks in the rain. And then basically what
more
it says
romantic
is
that way.
We decided to meet on O'Malley's. We would meet. And then it says I saw her. And who was it? It was my
lovely
wife.
lady. Now she's a lovely lady.
Yeah. Yeah, he got nervous, didn't he, when he fucking saw her?
Now, it was my lovely lady, and she looked at me, and then their reaction is the funniest. They start laughing.
Yes, that's all what we just went through is worth that I wanted to talk about what you just said. Yes. Dude, think about what happened that night. Like, if that really did happen, well, basically you could say it's a love story about two people that realize the person you're meant to be with, you're with.
No, but he also says, he goes, and then I said, I didn't know you like pina coladas. How this fucking is.
Oh, this escaped him for the fucking 30 years he's been with his old lady.
He never took a vacation near a bar.
Caught in the rain. Yeah.
So there's that. That explains that song. So did you find the other version that he was looking for?
Okay, so it's you can speed it. You can play it in about the middle. You know, Trailer said in all of their names in the town where he just showed up on a train.
That's not true, probably, right?
It's just
like
really disturbing.
Like I can understand he knows every engineer and where you can get a free meal, you know. But all of a sudden,
every lady
he knows every child's name and where they live.
No.
So the police would go, "Were you in, you know, were you in town last week?" Like, well, a boy's body was found in a third boxcar 4 miles down.
What's his name?
He had to have been leaving a lot of child corpses along the way. When he knew their name, the names and where they lived, he knew where they lived. And in court this week, Cato Kalin testified that O.J. Simpson did not appear angry before or after the period of his wife's murder. But Kalin admitted he could have been a touch edgy while he was actually murdering her. Might have been a Labor Department study shows that the number of temporary workers rose to 2 million in 1994. And that study doesn't even include the most temporary of the temporarily unemployed, Cato Kalin. Yesterday on Rivera Live, Cato Kalin made the startling admission that he now thinks O.J. Simpson is guilty, although authorities suspect this may just be part of an attempt by Cato to crash at Fred Goldman's place for a while. As the jury's decision was announced, Nicole Brown's sister Denise Brown told reporters, quote, "I feel ecstatic," while Johnny Cochran said, quote, "I accept the verdict and now we must move on." Meanwhile, Cato Kalin said, quote, "Please God, don't let it be over." Wednesday on CBS's This Morning program, correspondent Eleanor Mondale went toy shopping with Cato Kalin. According to producers, it was part of a new segment on the show called Let's Punish the Audience.
Hey, how about Norm's friend in the companion seat right now, Cato Kalin? Remember Cato? There he is. How long have you known Cato?
Cato, I know him about 15 years.
How did you meet Cato?
Well, he lives in his house.
Cato,
Norm actually
Cato
crashes on my couch.
Yeah. Cato, you got to get your own place.
Got it, Alan. Got it.
How did you meet Norm?
Actually, through sports many years ago.
Up in Canada?
Tennis and golf.
Didn't know you
played.
played.
I've been around for a while there, Regis. Yeah.
Didn't know you played tennis and golf.
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah.
Good.
As a matter of fact, my charity today is the Palm Beach Tennis and Golf Resort.
Actually, Norm's kidding. It's the Hole in the Wall gang, right?
Yeah, it's the Hole in the Wall gang camp that Paul Newman started, and it's real good for kids to go to that camp that are sick, you know.
That's nice. That's good.
Make a lot of money.
Cato's very happy for you.
Cato's a good man.
Because Joy has her hand in my lap.
Joy has her hand in Cato's lap. All right. Dynamite so far. Cato's very proud of you.
He's a good man.
$300.
By the way, Cato and I, you know, I like the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
You and Cato like to...
He's just a guy, I know. That's all I'm trying to say.
We all have our own thoughts about that.
I can't believe you were bullied by Norm MacDonald.
Why don't you believe that?
Because Norm is just like the unicorn. Like nobody really has conversations with Norm, let alone.
He would kind of, I'm
going to kick your ass, Fred.
No, not threaten to beat me
Me and
up.
Billy Joe Shaver.
not threaten to beat me up, but just kind of like,
teasing you a lot.
I know you're at the end, but him and Cato were friends, and they would just be
him
assholes.
and who?
Cato Kalin, the biggest piece of shit.
So
You
Cato
didn't watch the
Kalin?
whole Artie thing. We talked about it.
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I fell asleep. It was on late. That's not because you were boring. I mean,
him and Norm were best friends. He was Norm's lifeline.
Hey,
or something.
Cato Kalin.
They were friends.
So
and they would
Cato
play
Kalin
tennis.
would heckle you too?
Well, we one time me, Cato, and Norm played tennis, and I got a flat tire, and they were driving, laughing at me because I was on the side of the road. And Cato would kiss up to Norm,
but they didn't stop to help you with your.
No,
flat tire.
they stuck their heads out the window, were laughing as they drove by.
What jerks!
Yeah,
you on Norm's podcast.
Well, I did.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
well, you don't need my help at all, do you?
No. Yeah, and
was it fun? Did you bring up
was.
the fact that he bullied you?
Or
were you afraid because he was a bully?
I was a little afraid that I'd get busted, and about the book. But he goes, I don't care. Norm didn't care. Yeah, I go, I said, Norm, I have to be honest. You're in the book, and I said something. He goes, I don't care.
Sam, who was Norm's best friend the second season of the Norm Show?
Cato Kalin.
You're kidding! I spent an entire year with Cato Kalin. I know stuff about Cato Kalin. Norm, Cato befriended Norm. I can't even get into this whole thing. But, so we do, the Norm Show was 2 seasons, all right?
Right.
And we shoot the first season of the shit's picked up. In the meantime, Norm is living in L.A., so I get back you got to be back on the set like August 1st or something. So I start moving back out there like July 28th. And this girl, Lori Jo, who Sam's talking about, and maybe even Sam might have called me up and said, Norm wants, to play a big poker game tonight at Norm's, which we used to do all the time. Is come by. He goes, oh, wait, you're going to meet Norm's new best friend. I'm like, who's that? She goes, you'll see. I walk in, and it's Norm and these guys we used to play poker with, and Norm's crazy ex-assistant, this kid Danny Wilson. And Cato Kalin. One of the main characters in the biggest trial of the century.
Well, Ralph is the Cato Kalin. I mean, Ralph.
It's amazing the parallel.
It's a type of guy. It's like
he's the poor man's Cato.
No, I mean, yeah.
Poor man, you're rich.
You got more money than OJ.
No, Ralph's the poor man's Cato Kalin.
But can I just say something about Ralph? There's such a level of entitlement where he always says, I don't feel entitled. But like he'll go to Sam's house and you would think being in the guest house and having access to servants or whatever would be enough. He was out there one time a couple times ago, and if I have the cars wrong, tell me, Sam, but I guess the Bentley was parked in front and the Mercedes was parked behind, and Sam left the keys to the Mercedes for Ralph so Ralph could go around and do what he wanted. And somehow Ralph talked the help into giving him the keys and moving it so he could drive the Bentley.
But you got it.
Like the Mercedes wasn't enough, the Bentley was what he needed to be.
These guys are great at doing it, and LA's filled with now. Well, Cato did that whole season, like, systematically. By week 15, Cato was on the show.
Yeah.
Cato got onto the Norm Show.
Cato's looking for a job out of it.
He had a...
He gets kind of passed around, too, because there was a writer-producer, Kevin Curran. I think he's on The Simpsons now.
Yeah.
He used to be on Married with Children, and the first time I met Cato was after the O.J. trial, and he was hanging out with Kevin Curran.
But he was like in my life. Like, I would go to work, and Cato would be, whether he had to work or not, he was at rehearsal.
And what did Norm get out of it?
Well, Norm just said, hey, look, he's a good guy. And, like, we would all go, like, I don't know what's... So Norm got so friendly with him that every once in a while we go to this tennis club by Warner Brothers.
All right.
And we played doubles tennis. And Norm and Cato always had to be a team. It became, like, the 4th fucking grade. So me and one of the other writers would always play Norm and Cato. Cato in tennis. And I would tell the writer, I said, listen, if we lose to these motherfuckers, I'm gonna tear Cato's head off. Because if they got a point, and Norm is so competitive, you want to strangle him.
Right.
If they got a point, man, Cato would go like, Howie. And you just feel like going, you murdering fuck, you killed a woman, you helped kill a woman. Like,
Cato didn't have anything to do with murdering a woman.
Well, I felt like saying that to him.
Oh.
But you know, he would make you live it in red with anger, and like Norm and him were just the best of buddies for a year, like he had his...
And what happens that the relationship
They had
ends?
a falling out somehow.
Oh, really?
Of course.
The Norm show got canceled. I came back here. I started here, and eventually I heard they had a falling out. But it's weird. Like,
I think Cato was Norm's phone a friend on Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Get out of here.
So when they were playing tennis together, they always had to be like a doubles partner?
Oh, my God, how
Like, it became like a
And
thing.
you could see how insidious it was. And me and this other kid who we'd play with, like, we used to beat him most of the time, thank God. But
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, if we lost...
Well, he gets so... Norm is the most...
We got thrown out of the club. There was an incident with David Hyde Pierce.
What? David Hyde Pierce. What a group.
Next to the Warner Brothers lot, there's like this tennis club, and it's like an exclusive club, and it was like Caddyshack. Me and Norm would walk over in corduroys and just say we want a court, and the guys there were like star fuckers. They give Norm a court. He had a show on ABC, so we walk on, and David Hyde Pierce would be there, and he had like an instructor.
He'd be in his tennis whites.
Tennis sweaters tied around his neck. And me and Norm, like, if I lost a point to Cato Caleb, I'd go, fuck, cunt, fuck, and I'd throw the racket, and David Hyde Pierce would get all scared.
What's this?
Yeah, like he was scared. And Norm would like abuse him about maybe being gay, like all this shit.
My
like, and finally Hyde Pierce complained and got us thrown out. We got walked out of the club. Me, Norm, Cato Kalin, and this writer. We got walked out of the club. David Hyde Pierce was looking at us like all red faced, like, yeah, get out of here.
Fuckers.
Yeah, fuckers. But Cato and Ralph has a lot of those. Like when I'm hearing this, I saw it firsthand, and I'm saying, my God, he's doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's wild.
I want to address myself as best as I know how to those that I have wronged, that I have sinned against. I have sinned against you, my Lord, and I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse every stain until it is in the seas of God's forgetfulness, never to be remembered against me.
Great. What was your father's favorite joke?
My father's favorite joke?
Yep.
Well, he had a joke, roses are gray, violets are gray, tulips are gray, because I am a dog.
Thank you. That was close.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Have a favorite quick joke of your dad's?
Sometimes he would go, try to think of the guy's name. He'd go, there's a fella named, what was his name? I go, it doesn't matter. So he goes, a fella, Bill, and he couldn't remember. So he went to the doctor to get memory pills, and they worked. And then his friend come over, Elmer, he says, what were those memory pills you got? I want to get them. What are they called? Oh, Elmer says, I can't remember. He says, what's the name of that flower? The other guy goes, I don't know. There's lots of flowers. A tulip? No, Elmer says, that's not it. It's, you put it in a carnation. No, Elmer says, that's not it. Long-stemmed, romantic flower. Oh, a rose. Yes, Elmer says. Rose. What was the name of that medication the doc gave me? You want to hear my dad's favorite joke?
Yeah.
He says he was from the farm, and he says a guy comes from the city. City slicker comes and he buys a farm, and the farmer next door comes over to him and says, "Hey, now, would you like to come over to my house tonight? We're going to have a big shindig for you because we're neighborly here." And the city guy says, "Well, this is something that's I really like, that this is why I moved to the farm, to have things like this, Guy says it'll be a hell of a big party, He goes, it'll be, a little drinking, a little fighting, a little fucking, And the city guy goes, well, that sounds good. What time should I be here? And the farmer goes, anytime you like, just the two of us. So they would drink, then get in a fight, and then fuck. for
Your
that.
dad's favorite
That was
joke.
my dad's favorite joke.
Connected to our senses. Found a way to let you in.
What's something people don't know about you?
I'm a deeply closeted gay guy.
No kidding.
Well, I'm not coming out, though.
Wait a minute. What are you revealing here today?
I'm not revealing anything. I'm saying I'm deeply closeted.
Well, that means you're gay.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Why would I say that? I'm deeply closeted.
No, but that means you're very, very gay, but you don't want to come out. You're so closeted.
That I refuse to say I'm gay.
Right.
Exactly.
But doesn't that mean you're gay?
Hey, easy, buddy.
Oh, this book will reveal much.
If this were a memoir,
Yeah.
I would put juicy things from my own life.
Right. Like what kind of things would you put in there that nobody knows?
Well, I guess the biggest thing that nobody knows about me is I'm a deeply closeted gay man.
What? I mean, that's. You're a gay man?
I'm not gay. I said I'm deeply closeted. I'm as straight as an arrow.
So you're a gay man who won't admit it?
No. Do you know what deeply closeted means?
Yeah.
It means a man who will not acknowledge that he's gay.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, I'm not gay. On your last show, I came out as a deeply closeted gay man.
Yeah.
And I'm not gay. But David, on one time, this is a true story, and Dave, you'll attest to this, bought me a beautiful leather jacket.
Oh, that's right.
Well out of my price range. Now, I'm no one to take charity.
I'm not one to take charity.
I'm saying I sucked him off. You don't know I'm a secret homosexual, do you?
No, I saw that actually. A deeply, according to you, a deeply closeted homosexual is what you said. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I can't believe you.
Feelings flowing up and down. Picking up the pieces that you left behind. Hitting a new type of flow. Breathing in the smoke and clearing up my mind. The thoughts of you. I never knew what the hell you got me in.
You know your own name, you see it in popular culture used, and Norm is always like, I noticed this ever since I was a kid. When I was very young, there was a show called Peyton Place with Ryan O'Neal as a sexy brother. Norm is, deeply closeted man.